Alright, so for this nostalgic rewind, I'm talking about Titanfall 2, and I just wanted to go over, before actually talking about, the game itself, I wanted to talk about a little bit of the release of the game, and in my opinion, how they kind of got screwed over. Now, people will make a game like, oh, the failure of Titanfall 2, and I wouldn't say it's a failure, They basically got, I don't know what the right, metaphor term would be, but they basically got bamboozled by their own company. Well, Electronic Arts, not Respawn, because, here's a quote. Titanfall 2 released this past Friday, mind you, this is from November 1st, 2016. October 28th, and received much praise from critics. Despite the glowing reviews, analysts believe the shooter's sales will be substantially disappointing because of it releasing a week after Battlefield 1 and a week before Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. So, and here's the thing. So, Battlefield 1, which is also Electronic Arts, why would you release, and mind you, Battlefield 1, this is like, I think at that time, because I don't play too much Battlefield, like the 5th game or 6th game, and so it's like an established franchise and it has a huge fan base. Whereas Titanfall had one game, and it was basically a multiplayer only, like, whoa, like, this is cool, but okay. So you release Titanfall 2 a week after Battlefield 1, like a moron. Why would you do that? You're basically the overlord company for both games, and you're like, you know what? Fuck this game. And so, Battlefield 1 being in competition with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare makes sense. Why throw Titanfall in the middle when you know that it'll get fucked? And the CEO, I don't know if he still is, but at that time, Andrew Wilson, biggest fucking snake ever, saying all this dumb shit like, oh, I think I know what I'm doing is correct, blah, blah, blah. And so, that's very annoying. I just feel so bad because the story, and gameplay of Titanfall is genuinely good. So it's really, aggravating when a company does this to a game. And as of now, there's no word on Titanfall 3 or anything, and it's been a minute. So that's a shame. I just wanted to kind of talk about that. It's always something that's pissed me off because when Titanfall 2 came out, I played it on the PS4, I think. PS4, Xbox One, one of those. And I enjoyed it. I like that it actually had a story now. My boy Matthew Mercer voicing Jack Cooper. The idea that Titans actually have emotions, you could say, almost like a self-awareness. So that's on that part. I just wanted to get that out of the way because it was so frustrating. But onto the game itself. From what I remember, it really doesn't have too much hanging on from the first game. It's kind of a fresh start, in my opinion. And you play as one of the militia members, Jack Cooper. I know, very original name. And basically, right from the get-go, you're, one day you'll be the pilot. One day you'll be something more. You've seen this story plenty of times. The hero's journey. One day you'll be as this knight. One day, oh, now I'm dead, and now you have to take my place. And you will fulfill the prophecy. So in this game, the captain who sees, the good in you, And I don't know why I keep saying I don't know why, but I'm really wanting to talk about this game, and it's definitely got me hyped up to play it again and talk about it. But yeah, the captain, you land, and basically he gets killed within the first 5 minutes of landing. His very, very intelligent Titan, BT, also gets attacked severely. And you have to get some power cores to get him back online. And then it's up to you and BT to stop the main bad villains who are also working with the, if I remember correctly, Apex Predators. And when I heard that, mind you, because I've never heard Apex Legends, but I've heard that it's set in the same universe or something. I was like, oh, is that what that game is about, I guess? You're one of the Apex Predator clan people, and you fight each other, I guess. But there's no Titans in the game? I don't know. I'd have to look up if there's Titans in Apex Legends, but they have Titans in Titanfall 2, so I would assume so. But, yeah. So, you're going through the story, and I will say, it's... the best part about the game is the interactions between Jack and BT. I honestly do wish there was more of that. I don't think there's enough, and they slowly build on their relationship and, you know, the kind of quippy dialogue. And you have multiple choice, well, you know, left or right choice. Not really good or evil, just more sincere and more stern, I feel like, when talking to BT. And I think you really get to see their relationship grow, and I do like, you know, where it goes towards in the end, and it slowly builds up to it. There's a point where BT has to throw you, basically a mile, what feels like a mile away. Maybe it's not a mile, but he is doing the calculations, and he says, "Trust me." He throws you, and that happens a couple of times. But even, you know, there's some parts where he gets kidnapped and things, and you go to save him, and the genuine feeling BT has of thanking you and feeling the connection between you and him. And it's really such a good buddy, I wouldn't say buddy cop, you know, quote unquote kind of movie thing, but a really good feeling of like like a war movie with two buddies, and you can tell that one is more protective of the other and is really trying to help, and they're getting through it together. And as cliche as the ending might be, spoilers, even though this game's been out for like 5 years, but which I say that for most of these games have been out for, I think with this series I'm doing, Nostalgic Rewind, I do at least a 5-year minimum, and then, you know, after that too. So I think 5 years has been a long time, so spoilers, but at the end you're basically going to kill yourself with BT to stop a planet-killing nuke, basically. And right before you dive into the bomb, BT grabs you, says that, you know, he says, "Trust me," throws you out of the distance so that when he blows up with it, you are unharmed, and then you escape. And, you know, honestly, it did hit me pretty hard. I'm not sitting here crying or anything, but man, it kind of makes you take a gulp there. You spend, I think I beat the game in 7 hours, roughly, I think. Mind you, I played it on medium about 70% of the way, and then, just like Bioshock, and then easy the rest, just because I do have to kind of be quick with my time filming these. But yeah, that happens, and you sit there like, damn, you know. And I paused the video because right when BT blows up, you kind of see it one piece before fly out. I was like, oh, you know, is he doing the thing he did earlier in the game where he ejected his, you know, AI head core? But I looked and it doesn't look like it is, which is a shame. But there is a post-credit scene where, because there was the whole thing where Jack his helmet had a link with BT and kind of like a copy of his conscience or something. And so the post-credit scene, it zooms in on Jack's helmet, and you see it start flashing, almost like Morse code. I'd have to look at that if that actually means anything, but his helmet starts, the visor starts flashing and making certain beeps, which I feel like is hinting that BT is still alive to some level, and like literally down to the programming, but I don't know, as we've never gotten another Titanfall, so who knows. But yeah, you play through the game, and that's really the best part about the game. The story is alright, but it also leaves off on a cliffhanger where you're like, okay, I didn't even kill the fucking main bad guy, and also the main mercenary who was hunting you is like, nah, I didn't get paid for this, deuces, and just leaves. So clearly they were setting up for a third and final game, and then never did. But as you'll see by now, most of the game is very, I wouldn't say rinse and repeat, but it's very, very repetitive. And I know you could say that about every game, but the one good thing, which was also kind of meh to me, is you have a different, you have an arsenal of weapons and not skills, like powers you can use for BT. Not really for Jack. I mean, you have different weapons, but you can't really unlock any really new skills for him, which would have been cool. But the only problem, in my opinion, is that some of the arsenal weapons for BT, the Titan, I felt like were useless. As in, I kept basically using the same first weapon over and over again, because to me it was the best and fastest just outcome. You can do your shield to deflect bullets and then shoot them back, and then you can also shoot your rockets from your shoulder, which auto locks on, and then you have your fast firing assault rifle or light machine gun, whatever. And I feel like I just wrecked with that. I would do boss fights with the other weapons, and they're either too slow or, yeah, no, you know what? Yeah, the biggest thing is that they're just too slow. Because all the fucking enemy Titans you fight, they're freaking, strafing all the way around, or they're jumping in the air, all this bullshit. And so you can't just sit there, because if you miss, like, I love the grenade launcher class, but if you miss, you do the slow reload animation, and then you gotta pray you hit the Titan, whereas the default class just gets it done. So I guess that's about it. It is an enjoyable game. It's always on sale. When I rebought it for PC, it was like $2. So, and that was on the EA store or Origin or whatever it's called now. So, yeah, I would recommend it. It was the classic like parkour shooter game, very fluid, fast-paced game. And then Call of Duty was like, oh, we're gonna copy that, har, and then boom, it just kind of soured it. But yeah, I recommend the game. I definitely say try it out. I didn't see if the multiplayer was still active, but that would be interesting too. So, guess that's going to be it for this video. As always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you.